How far down do you have to be to get LASIK on the vision scale?
You just
From Heimdall to Geordie LaForge.
Yeah.
Like, on a scale, where do you got to be?
I think your vision has to be impaired somehow.
Okay, well, impairment, there are degrees of impairment.
Yes.
And I am now on the scale.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. I got my first, friend of mine called them cheaters today.
Uh-huh.
It's a big
Yep.
day.
It is a big day.
Got my cheaters.
How do you feel about that?
Horrible!
Yeah?
Terrible!
I'm so sorry.
I have so few talents. If my life was a character sheet, it would be a mostly blank piece of A4.
Yeah?
With a, badly drawn, uglier version of me in the little character box. And then very few feats and not much equipment. And not a lot of platinum or gold or silver.
Oh, no.
But 20/20 vision was something I could always rely on. 2015.
Yeah.
If that's a thing.
Sure.
And it had always been a thing.
Yes.
And I come from a family of not great lookers. I mean, in a lot of ways. But definitely with the eyes.
Yeah.
And it's begun.
I'm so sorry.
It's begun. It started with, you grab your phone, roll out of bed in the morning, pick up your phone. What's going on? What time is it?
Right.
Get any messages?
Mm-hmm.
How's the world melting today?
Right.
And I was like, oof, boy, just shake it. Eyes must
Can't see it
yeah,
straight?
not a lot of resolution here.
Uh-oh.
Pull it closer.
Yeah?
Worse.
Worse?
Farther away.
Yeah.
Still barely.
Oh, man.
It's like Groucho Marx. I could read this if I had a gorilla. So yeah, I went out to the drugstore.
Got some cheaters.
And I want the lasers. I want them right now.
You want them?
I'll go into the eye doctor, and I'm probably, this is probably as bad as it's going to get, knocking on Formica or whatever's here.
Yeah.
It's probably never going to get that bad.
Right.
But, it's never going to get to the point where I could, get some cool glasses, and then maybe it's like part of my look now, insofar as I have a look.
Right.
And it's definitely not going to get to the point where I can get somebody to sign off on shooting me in the face with lasers. So it's just going to be cheap old man reading glasses until the end.
Okay.
There's a lot of you're giving me so little commiseration here.
I'm so sorry.
Well, you don't care. I mean, you almost came out of the womb wearing glasses. You've had glasses since you were single digits, isn't that right?
Yeah, I was 5.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was 5.
Yeah, pretty much. 5, 6. Yep.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen pictures of you as a kid. Did they just take them off when you got to Sears and went, no, over here, honey, smile. No, follow my voice.
No, that was me younger than.
Younger than 5?
Yeah. My parents took me to the eye doctor when I was in first grade. Or maybe kindergarten. And I was 5 or 6 when I got my first pair of glasses, and they were oversized, took up over half of my face.
Sure.
Were thick, pink, clear frames.
Yeah.
They were hideous.
You got the Sally Jesse Raphael special.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, man.
I mean, maybe it looked cute on a little kid, but it was hideous.
It looked precocious on a little kid. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably got an extra half a grade, just for that. The teacher's like, well, look at this kid. Come on. They got a pet turtle. She knows what she's doing. Send her right through there. Well, anyway, there's nothing wrong with glasses. Probably most of our listeners have glasses. It's, it's the emblem of the nerd. But
right.
Not for somebody who, if your hair turned a different color tomorrow, you'd be like, well, I'm not me anymore.
Right.
That's what I'm going through.
I'm sorry you're going through that.
Anyway, I guess more updates on that. As we go, here on the Just Enough Trope podcast, I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
I think, hold on, let me just put these, okay, yeah, right. No, I can still see far away, and some of the things I can see far away are movies.
Good.
And we've got a movie we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we do.
Which is a hot young movie coming up. It's got huge Coke bottle glasses, so we know that it's we can expect something amazing from it.
Right.
And it's The Incredibles. The Incredibles 2.
Yep.
The long awaited sequel to The Incredibles.
Yep.
Which we'll talk about a little later. But before that, I want to talk about, and we'll have some news, of course. Of course. I want to talk about a movie with horses, of course, that I could see from far away, that has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to drop it in here. But we watched very recently the Living Daylights.
Yes.
The first James Bond movie starring Timothy Dalton in one of two movies that he made as James Bond. A weird time for Bond. A great time for movies, the 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Bond was still figuring things out. And they got this Dalton guy in there who personally, he's top 3.
Really?
I mean, the more Bonds there are, and let's say we include, what's his name from the TV Casino Royale. And if we include 67 Casino Royale,
right.
then we got to slip Niven in there. He's probably in my top 4.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he's good. Like him.
Yeah.
Understand why it didn't work out. Understand if you don't like him, but I just think that he's really great, and his interpretation, his sort of character of Bond is a really good one. Mm-hmm. It's a good film. It's a complicated film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about a little over 2 hours long, which is probably, especially in the 80s, probably longish for a Bond movie. But it moves. Like, you go all over the place.
Yeah, you do.
It pretty much covers, it's like if you had an Indiana Jones travel map, it would look like Charlie Day's conspiracy board. Like, there'd be red lines all over it.
Right.
Like, they move around a lot in this film. And it's got some complicated politics.
Yeah,
He gets some help from Osama bin Laden at one point because it was a much different time.
Yeah, it was.
But like I said, he's great. He's a very no-nonsense Bond. And I think, except for, I think he's a lot like the book Bond.
Okay.
Every time we get a new Bond, it seems like the Bond is always like, we're going to do this more like the books,
Right.
Mostly because Connery threw the books out the window and just became Connery's Bond. And everything has been a reaction to that since then. Mm-hmm. And, of course, our longest serving now, Craig's been doing it for a while now, but for a long time, the longest serving Bond, Roger Moore, also had his own sort of inimical style. Sure. As far as Bond goes, and so was kind of an answer to that, and it was the right answer. So, 2 pillars of Bond, and everybody else is just kind of trying to scramble.
Right.
And I just really like Timothy Dalton. I think he is a damn handsome man, and he loves the ladies, but he's kind of on the job, like he's supposed to be, kind of like book Bond.
Right.
And he can be in Living Daylights. There's a plot that's going on, and it sort of touches him personally as these guys that he knows are killed, and so you get to see angry Bond,
right?
But you also get to see kissy Bond, and he's not. There's this woman in it, this cellist that is accompanying him, but it's not just like, I mean, it's clear that he's she's hot, like he likes her,
right?
But he's like lying to her the entire time because he's got to pretend that he's a friend of her boyfriend's, and
right?
If he seduces her, it's icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Because it's a Bond thing to do, but it also gets him more information and gets him closer to her boyfriend,
right?
Who he's trying to nail.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
and it's just, I think it's well directed. Well, parts of it are well directed. It's directed by John Glenn, who I'm a liker, not a lover or an expert, but I don't think he directed too many other Bond films. And there's a lot of action sequences that are really great, and there's a lot going on, and he keeps you kind of into it. The only problem is when it moves inside, it's like he doesn't know what to do if he's not shooting an action sequence.
An action scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the indoor stuff is just, I will just set it up, and you'll just walk around in one shot like it's a play or something like that, which is not, you wouldn't have that anymore. You'd have like these really low angle, it's very TV lighting, kind of flat lighting. Mm-hmm. You compare that to something like Skyfall.
Sure.
Forget about it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Roger Deakins, would wipe his ass with the print of Living Daylights, but I don't know. Just like it.
It's a pretty good movie.
Got a pretty cheesy song.
Yep.
By Aha. Mm-hmm. That's not good, but
no.
Yet somehow you're kind of like, yeah. Comes the morning.
So 80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. A lot of matte lipstick and blue eyeshadow.
Yep,
And flat hair and
that's true.
yeah, but unless it's blown out.
Right.
Yeah. What's your experience with the Bond franchise?
I guess I'm probably most familiar with Connery or Craig.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the original and the most recent. So
Right.
I've seen a smattering of other ones. I have seen this movie previously, but it's been a while.
And you've seen Casino Royale. We talked about it on the show.
Yes.
Have to dig back a little bit, not too far in the archives.
Yep.
To get our take on Casino Royale. Was that for Crafted Services? Why were we doing that?
I think it was for Crafted Services.
Okay, well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Crafted Services, which was, of course, spun off into a show on this network.
That's right.
The long proclaimed and announced return of Crafted Services is still imminent. We got some shows in the can, and we should be debuting new Crafted Services shows on this network in next week.
All right.
Let's say around the time that we're going to go to Convergence.
All right.
One of the reasons that I wanted to check out The Living Daylights again is because there's going to be a panel at Convergence this year entitled In Defense of Timothy Dalton.
Yes.
Probably mostly for his Bond roles, but maybe we'll talk about some of his other roles. I'm not on that panel, sadly, but somebody who I consider to be a heavy acquaintance, if not friend, author Lyda Morehouse, will be on that panel, and we'll be talking to her at the con.
Yes.
Which is exciting. Her tastes and mine
Go
fit together. Yeah. We like a lot of the same things. Cyberpunk.
Yes.
James Bond.
Yes.
Girls. It all.
Yes.
Yeah. We could
all
be
true.
Great pals. And it's always fun talking to her. So we'll be talking to her. Who else will we be hitting up when we do our usual rounds at CVG?
We will be talking to Paul Cornell. We'll also be talking to
Melissa. What? You just blew right through Paul Cornell.
Paul Cornell is an author. He's written some comic books and some TV shows as well.
Comic books. Yes, he's written comic books, many comic books.
Yes.
And TV shows.
Doctor Who.
I don't remember the titles of those episodes, but they're the ones based on his novel, Human Nature, right? They adapted those, the one where the doctor becomes a human.
Yes.
Teaches at a school, that two-parter.
Yes.
The Family of Blood or something like that, and then the other one was maybe just called Human Nature. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, generally considered to be great episodes, and they are great episodes. And who else are we talking to?
We're talking to Melissa F. Olson.
Yeah.
I just finished her latest novella, Outbreak, from Tor.com.
Okay.
It was great. Very entertaining as always. So
yeah.
She writes a lot about vampires in general.
Yeah.
And other mythical creatures.
Yeah, I was going to mention
werewolves and whatnot.
Tying this back into Crafted Services, which this is a plug for, one of the upcoming shows that we're going to have for Crafted Services is I'll be talking to author, his name just escaped me, Alex Bledsoe, who is a friend of Melissa Olson's.
Okay.
And we'll be talking about the movie Underworld.
Oh, great.
So you said vampires
and werewolves.
And you also said werewolves.
I did.
And we've got them covered.
All right, great.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I know we're talking to other people.
Yeah, talking to James Kakalios.
Yes.
Who is the author of The Science of Superheroes, or The Physics of Superheroes.
Right.
As he is a physics instructor at the U of M, PhD. We talked to him last year.
Yep.
I'll probably speak to Gordon Purcell, who has also done some comics.
Yes.
A lot of Star Trek comics in pretty much every incarnation of Star Trek, at every company it's been at, and is a local guy and a nice guy. He was on Enterprising Individuals.
Yeah.
Talking about an episode of that show. And many other people.
Yeah.
And more.
And more.
I always like it when we watch it's the musical review with James Taylor and Carly Simon and more. It's like, wow, thanks. I guess I'm in the and more category.
And the rest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of in the and more category for the show, for Convergence.
Stop.
as an invited participant. But if you have not yet gotten your tickets to Convergence, if you live in or near the Twin Cities area, if you listen to this show and you don't know about it by now, come on, man. We talk about it every year.
Right.
We go every year and have a great time. Tickets are still available. You can check it out at convergence-con.org. It is a great time. It's 4 fun days. What are some of the panels I'm on? I'm on a panel about the representation of women in Star Trek.
Yep.
But if you don't like that, I'm on a panel about Avengers Infinity War.
Yep.
Which people are going to have a lot to say about. I'd have to imagine. Yeah. Seems like years ago that it came out now, doesn't it?
It does.
But it wasn't that long.
No.
I'm going to be on a panel about Guilty Pleasures, which is a great tie-in to Craft of Services. Basically films that you like and you can't really defend it. You just do.
Right.
And I assume we'll be talking about cult and like B-movie exploitation type stuff.
I would
Somebody
think so.
might say My Best Friend's Wedding.
Sure.
Or Dying Young.
Sure.
Or Sleeping with the Enemy.
Okay, sure.
Maybe we'll have a big Julia Roberts in there. I don't know.
Boy.
Julia Roberts fan. But you never know. It's possible. I've heard they exist.
Yes, I'm sure they do. I am not one of them.
I was going to say, you probably get itchy when you're near one. But I'm positive they exist. So anyway, yeah, check that out, convergence-con.org. I think that we should get right to it. Let's do the news. Well, let's see. What do we have here in the news? The big news, of course, is this week is the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which has made over $150 million at the box office, which is not too bad. It is, of course, not matching the first Jurassic World movie, which made over $200 million.
Okay.
Still fairly respectable. Puts it in at the 4th highest opening for this year.
Oh, wow.
And it's crossed the $700 million mark worldwide.
Okay.
So very popular overseas.
Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. People still, dinosaurs, like them.
Yep.
The film is receiving bad reviews.
Okay.
Not good reviews.
All right.
And I've heard a lot of people, from my friends especially, say, it's dark. It's a dark film.
I've heard that as well.
And it's just kind of depressing. So, I don't know.
Which seems, I don't know, when you're talking about dinosaurs, which are just kind of exciting and fun.
Right.
It seems, well, I suppose they could be dark, but yeah.
Takes off his glasses because he needs them. He's looking at little fossils all day.
Right.
And he's like, it's a dinosaur. Welcome to Jurassic Park. But like in this one, it's probably like another character has that line, and it's like really sarcastic. They're like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park, Jurassic World."
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think actually doesn't what's his name? Goldblum's got that line, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He's like, "Welcome to Jurassic World." I can do better than that.
Oh, that was pretty good, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In other movie news, moving over to Sony, it looks like Sony, with, of course, Amy Pascal producing, is looking to develop a Marvel comic movie based on Silk.
Okay.
Silk, Cindy Moon, the
Yeah.
Spider Woman girl person.
Yes. Could be good, but
Cuba Gooding? I don't think he's going to be in it.
no, I said it could be good.
Oh, could be good. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. He gets that a lot, I bet. Yeah. I mean, look, all boxes checked.
Yep.
Asian American female lead superhero movie.
Yep.
So, what's the problem?
No problem. It's just,
The woman who's in charge of it.
well, yeah, and
Not great.
the what was it called? The Silver and Black movie that got canceled.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on with that.
I just hope it doesn't end up in the same spot as that film.
Yeah.
You know.
Me Too. Not Me Too.
Right.
There's a great sketch on Michelle Wolf's show about how they had to come up with a new term for Me Too because we use Me Too all the time.
Yeah, we do.
You know, yeah, me too. No, no, it's fine, everybody. It's a whoopsie daisy or whatever. And so,
Right.
But now, what do you say instead of whoopsie daisy? We need to come up with something else.
Right.
So yeah,
It just continues.
it's probably on YouTube. Look that
Okay.
up. It's funny. It's not enough. I mean, I guess what's more important, good writing or representation? And I would say I don't think that we should
They're not
put them in separate cars.
mutually exclusive.
Well, no, they really don't have anything to do with each other, but we need them both.
Yeah, you do.
But when you get, a diverse female cast in, say, a Ghostbusters reboot, and then it is the Ghostbusters reboot,
right?
You're making everybody look bad, which is bad.
It is,
and you're a lot less and it's not going to do well,
right?
And so you're a lot less likely to have more projects like this because Hollywood is very gun shy about changing the formula,
right?
And the formula is Bruce Willis with a gun,
right?
So it didn't help that I guess that he was in Charlie's Angels too. He was trying to really change the industry, but it didn't work.
No, it didn't happen.
It's not great. Moving over to somebody else's studio, Walt Disney. Walt Disney has been trying to buy Fox.
Yes.
And this is all just out there. Part of being a movie executive has to be, well, it's the perfect, it's the quintessential businessman or woman thing, which is being steely, laying in the cut is what they say. And so you set up a multi-billion-dollar deal, and it's not a handshake deal. Like, you don't know it's going to go off right now. You're just going to have to send it to the lawyers, and they're going to send it somewhere else, and on and on and on, until finally somebody gets a call, and yeah, we can do it.
Right.
And so this huge thing, which could completely upend Hollywood and eliminate one of the big 6 studios that's been going on forever,
right,
will be Disney absorbing Fox.
Yep.
And, of course, a couple weeks ago, 11th hour swerve, Comcast comes in and makes a all cash bid. So I think it started off at about $50 billion, which, when you think about it, I guess I don't know how to value a movie studio, but I feel like that might be kind of low.
Maybe.
Like, Fox they're a pretty big deal.
They are a big deal.
And I think Fox has specific aims in trying to spin off their movie division. There's other things they want to do.
Right.
Things that we don't want them to do. But there's
like
nothing
politics.
we can do about it. Yes.
Yeah.
You get to see Wolverine fight the Iron Man, and we'll all have to just put up with Fox News for the rest of time.
Right.
But anyway, so Comcast comes in and tops their bid to $60 million.
Yep.
Well, it turns out that Disney is serious. And they have come back with a $71.3 billion offer. So they're back on the table.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a good thing overall. I want Disney to win in this.
Yeah, this isn't a call. This is a re-raise.
Yeah.
Most people thought, okay, they will match, or sweeten it a little bit.
Right.
And they just went, I see your $60 million, and I go 70 or billion, and I go 70 billion, that's aggressive.
It is very aggressive.
And I think that, I don't know the exact details of their deal, but it wasn't an all cash situation. It was probably like cash stock, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And yeah, Comcast just got all the money together. So all cash, you just walk away with the money, done. But Disney came back in and went even higher.
Right.
Which to me is like, that's the mouse throwing his weight around a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Not in my house, Junior. That's a little bit what that is.
Yeah, for sure. They want to win, and I back them in that because I want to see Wolverine and Iron Man together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then we, do that thing where we pull back and there's a reporter covering it, and it's Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
And she's like, it looks like the Wolverine and Iron Man are fighting. They're both liberal cucks, so I don't care who wins.
Oh, great.
Where's the Iron Patriot?
Oh.
Where's the question? He's objectivist, so...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we'll get out of this. How do we move on? Let's go from comic movies to comics. Dark Horse, the comics company.
Yep.
Not like a talking horse. That'd be cool, though. He, the horse, has announced that Dark Horse will cover their transgender employees' health care.
That's good.
With their health care plans, which they were not doing previously. It is good, but it took a little while. And it took a little activism to make it happen. Earlier this month, Dark Horse had announced, this is Pride Month, of course.
Yep.
Dark Horse had announced an initiative for some sales on comics featuring LGBTQ characters.
Okay.
Or creators.
Okay.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
but didn't please former guest of the show, former editor at Dark Horse, and editor and writer Jay Edidin, host of Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men, didn't impress him.
Okay.
And he tweeted, "Too bad your actual company policies are among the most explicitly bigoted in the industry." Huh.
Oh, boy.
So all "they're not lasers of firing" on that one.
Right.
Dark Horse tried to sort of come back and be like, and wasn't great.
No.
And finally now has announced that they will amend their healthcare policies and plans to cover transgender health issues.
Well, that's good.
It is good.
It's a good change.
Yes. But it took somebody, well, Jay and other activists,
Yep.
to put pressure on them
Yep.
to make it happen. And Jay tweeted after the fact, a couple days ago, some guidelines, specifically that for public shaming to work, he says it has to be tied to specific feasible asks and supported by organized and collective action.
Sure.
So it's not enough to just go, "Oh, nice, good one, Dark Horse."
Right.
You know, you have to set it out there, and also maybe twist
Just
that
a
knife
knife
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay can be very acerbic and
Sure.
did not hold back in that case. But thanks to Jay, and I guess, thanks to that horse who's out there, finally made it happen.
Yeah.
So that change is set to take place October 1st.
Okay.
That's good news.
That is good news.
What about some other good news? Kind of good, maybe bad?
Okay.
You know who Tom Holland is?
I do know who Tom Holland is.
If you don't, he'll tell you. He'll tell you everything.
He's very talkative.
Yes. He cannot. Yes.
Can you not stop talking?
Is that from his head injury? Didn't he get hurt doing
don't
Billy
know.
Elliot or something like that?
I don't know.
I know he smashed his face recently.
Oh, no.
He's broken his nose like 3 times, like
Oh,
on set
no.
or on movies.
That's not good.
Look good though. You gotta.
For a broken nose.
Well, you got to
not
get a
bad.
Hollywood doctor to fix your nose, I
I
guess.
guess so.
Yeah, I wish I had one around when I broke my nose. Well, he has tweeted recently. Actually, he was on Instagram, I think, and he. Nobody can figure out if this is an accident, another accident,
Oh
or
my
if it's
gosh.
playing on his reputation. But he sent a picture on his Instagram of the cover for his script for Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
saying like, "Oh, I don't have anything to say, but just want to say hi to you guys." And then it's a picture of his script. And if you don't want to know the spoiler, skip forward 15 seconds. But the title of the film is Spider-Man: Far From Home. So
Spider-Verse movie, maybe?
maybe. It seems weird after they're doing the animated Spider-Verse that they would do something
That's
like
true.
that. But yeah,
Huh.
is Far From Home heaven?
Oh, boy.
Because spoilers for Infinity War.
I know, right?
He's not alive.
No, I know.
So we don't know, but they are ramping up production on that, and that film should hit theaters on July 5th of next year.
Okay.
Remember when the machine is just smoke, noise, it's probably sparks, just make sparks all day. This machine is going. Remember when you used to hear about a film, you're like, well, I can't wait till I'm out of college and that comes out.
Yeah.
Now you hear about something and it's like, and it's out next week. What?
I know.
Like this machine is going. They're
Yeah,
just
it's
pushing these
true.
things out. Unless they're not and they're canceling them.
We better not be canceling.
Unless you're
it.
Silver Sable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Or one of 5 Joker films that, come on, they're not all going to
I
make it.
can't believe that.
Come on.
I know.
Speaking of things that hopefully aren't going to make it, of course, it was announced a little while ago that Gretchen Berg and Aaron Harberts were being removed as showrunners for Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
I think we're actually reporting this. The way that the schedule of Enterprising Individuals, our Star Trek show, goes is that
Yep.
I don't always get to do news every week. So I think we're actually going to break this on this show before it's on that show.
Okay.
But tune into that show later this week for more information. But they were let go as showrunners, and thinking it would be a fill-in kind of job, executive producer Alex Kurtzman was selected to be the showrunner for
Right.
the show going forward. Well, just a few days after that, it was announced that Kurtzman signed a big deal with Paramount to the tune of $25 million to develop 4 more shows for Paramount CBS.
This makes me so nervous.
Me too.
Because he's not always that great at his job.
He's never that great at his job.
And it makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do, Caliban? Like,
we kill him. No, we don't kill him. Come on.
We can't kill him.
Joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
We blind him.
Oh my gosh.
He can't watch dailies if he can't see.
Right. This is terrible.
And they'll name a character Kurtzman after him. They'll dedicate a film to him, but he'll be gone. I don't know what this means. Many, many talented people all work together on these things.
Yep.
One man couldn't screw everything up, could he?
I would
Unless
hope
his
not.
name was Damon Lindelof.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Right.
Although, same school.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
The
what
crap
you mean.
pack.
Yep. Oh.
That's what I call them.
Wow.
This isn't Frank Sinatra. It's Dean Martin. He's the... Yeah, ooh. No, I don't want to sit down and figure out who all the members are. It doesn't matter. He's not even... He's the Joey Bishop. You know, he's not even Dean Martin. So forget that. So anyway, these shows, we don't know exactly what they're going to be, but it seems like what's coming together is there will be a Starfleet Academy show. Mm-hmm. Still a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's theorized that one of these shows is the Khan show. Or miniseries that Nicholas Meyer has been working on for a while.
Okay.
And we've heard, this is one of those things where sometimes you can you connect the dots and you see that it's a bunny before you're finished, right?
Right.
We've heard all these little bits, and now they're all starting to make sense because Meyer had been talking about that for a while. Mm-hmm. Maybe 2 or 3 months ago, he shut up about that. Like he stopped talking about it and would not answer questions about it.
Right.
Recently, Patrick Stewart, and I guess I'll get to this part of the news, had said, well, I'll have to check out that discovery. It might be necessary soon. And people are like, what?
What does that mean?
It looks like one of these shows is going to involve
Patrick Stewart.
Captain Picard.
Yeah.
It will somehow revisit Picard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing in the future. Better be in the future.
I'm guessing.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And also, there'll be an animated show.
Okay. I mean, that seems the most plausible out of all of them, doesn't it?
The animated one?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that who's it for?
That's a good question.
Do kids like Star Trek?
Well, some must.
I've interviewed 150 people who all started as kids. But there's the thing that's like for kids, and there's a thing that's like James Bond. I started watching James Bond as a kid. I didn't understand what the Cold War or the Iron Curtain was or anything like that. But that's how I got into it. So, you know.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
I mean, even the original Star Trek animated series was, ostensibly for kids. It was by Funimation,
yeah.
But it was really kind of for adults who wanted more Star Trek.
Right. Well, maybe this will be more of the same sort of thing. Like, potentially for kids.
But will the new shows be in the Kelvinverse? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
Everybody hates the Kelvinverse. JJ is pretty much just, an absent EP at this point. Could they make the films the real Prime Universe?
The Kelvin universe be the Prime universe?
Failed experiment. Everyone hates it.
Mm-hmm.
Most enjoyable, arguably one of the most... Oh, no, I didn't. It's not very successful. But anyway, everybody liked the third one.
Yeah.
And it's the most Prime Universe of the films.
It's true.
Could Star Trek 4, which will involve time travel, could it somehow restore the universe?
Somehow, maybe it could.
This is the wrong show. This is totally the wrong show.
I'd be interested in seeing how they could do that.
Me too.
I just don't know.
Thor can save us.
Yeah.
Thor's going to fix everything.
That's true.
Well, I hope so. We'll see.
Okay.
In terms of old properties that are finding new life, it looks like MTV Studios is looking to relaunch Daria.
I heard that.
How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that. I
Just
love Daria.
Roll your eyes and give a comment about it.
I love Daria. I'd be all for more of it. But I mean, is she in college now? Is she out of college? I mean, or are they going to be back in high school?
We'll see. It will be tentatively titled Daria and Jodie. I say, just call it Daria. Who cares?
Yeah,
If
why
you can figure
Daria
out
and
two
Jodie?
different, because Jodie's in it, I guess. But
yeah,
if you, I think it'll be it's going to be a female property.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like capital F, capital P.
Well, it was before.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't like signaling like
That's
crazy.
true.
So it doesn't matter. Grace Edwards, who was a writer on Inside Amy Schumer, will be helming it.
Okay.
We don't know if the original creators, Glenn Eichler and Susie Lewis-Lynn, will be involved or not. The official description is Daria and Jody, the iconic animated franchise, reinvented through the eyes of heroine Daria and one of her closest friends, Jody. These two smart young women take on the world with their signature satirical voice while deconstructing popular culture, social classes, gender, and race. No Oxford comma. So failure for you, junior PR guy that wrote that. Tells us nothing.
No,
But
it doesn't tell us
Kind of sounds like they're not just going to be hanging around high school.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're going to
be taking on the world.
Poochie it up a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm a little worried too.
So.
But you can't get mad at me for being pessimistic about it.
No.
I'm a Daria fan.
Right.
It's Daria.
Right.
She would want me to be that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. It could be cool. I want it to be good. I don't want it to be bad. So I don't know. I'm rooting for it.
There's a lot of good, well-written animated shows.
Yeah.
Today.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of not.
That's true.
And it seems like the good ones come from where you don't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's this Steven universe? What is this?
Right.
Or like, who would expect something to... we can talk about this. Here's a trailer review. The Teen Titans movie.
Yes.
Looks awesome.
I know. It does.
Warner Brothers can only succeed when it goes meta, it looks like.
Yeah.
They make a Suicide Squad, like, nothing.
I know.
Let's make fun of our own properties. Okay, Lego Batman movie, let's try it out.
Right.
It looks like the Lego Batman movie.
It does.
And I love the fact that if you don't know, now you're about to know, people hate the new Teen Titans cartoon. Mm-hmm. They want old Teen Titans Go. Mm-hmm. They want, a little more serious, still kind of funny, but like, a Young Justice just with blockier characters.
Right.
Not like the new Teen Titans where it's just funny and kind of meta and,
Right.
probably aimed at older viewers, but younger viewers can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them both. Who cares?
I know.
I mean, you're not going to get any more of that old one, but what's the problem?
Right.
Well, we saw this trailer for the new Teen Titans film, and they're taking that on directly.
Yeah.
That is what happens. And they go to Hollywood. It's like, hey, make a movie about us. There's all these other movies.
Right.
Like Batman, Superman, Yawn of Justice. It's one of the jokes in the trailer. And they're like, no, we don't want to make one about you. And so they have to try to, maybe if we're more serious and grim and gritty.
Right. We have
This
we
is
have
brave.
Bad guy. Yeah.
They're taking on the fans.
They are.
It's Ryan Johnson style. Please. Anyway, what do you think about that?
I think it's exciting.
I think fans are going to boycott it because
You
they're
think
so
so?
organized, because their fan boycotts are the control of everything.
Oh, boy.
And they're going to reshoot Last Jedi.
Oh my gosh, no, they're not.
Everybody should calm down.
I think so too.
Calm down. Repeat after me. I love comic books.
I love comic books.
I'm an adult human being.
I'm an adult human being.
It's enough that I read comic books.
It's enough that I read comic books.
I don't have to throw a tantrum like a child.
I don't have to throw a tantrum like a child.
And breathe. Yes. Holdo is back for episode 9. No! Or whatever. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I am looking forward to it too.
How they're going to take a 10-minute cartoon and make it 80, 85 minutes, I'm guessing.
Right.
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one snuck up on me. I don't know anything else about it.
I don't either. I didn't even know it was
who's
coming
writing
out.
it. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that, mostly because people hate Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. One more story before we move on. We talk sometimes about Westworld,
Yes.
which is not a great show, but it's a good show.
It is a good show.
And the finale is on tonight, and we are doing this instead of watching it.
That's true.
But that's because we love doing this.
That's right.
So that's exciting. Maybe we'll talk about that on a later show, but I wanted to talk about the Fallout mobile game.
The Fallout mobile game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant the Westworld mobile game.
Oh, Westworld.
Bethesda would have you think they're the same thing.
Oh, really?
That's right. Bethesda, the game studio, is suing HBO for copying Fallout Shelter to make their game Westworld.
Are you serious?
I'm totally serious.
Why?
Because cartoony people live underground or work there, and you have to make them interact and do stuff. And I don't know. That's about it.
What? But that's Westworld.
Yeah.
I guess it's Fallout also?
Bethesda is very litigious.
Okay.
They will sue you at the drop of a hat.
Okay.
They are the people that sued Notch, the guy that made Warcraft, for a new turn-based collectible card game that he was making.
Yeah.
It was called Scrolls.
Okay.
And their series is called The Elder Scrolls.
Right.
And so they sued him. He is Notch. He is one of the richest men on the planet. Lost.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And that game basically died. It's actually, I think they're giving it away now under something's Bane. I can't remember something's Bane. Just search for Bane and Notch or something.
Okay.
You'll find it. But it's probably a good game, but I'll never know because Bethesda killed it.
Wow.
So yes, they make very mediocre games that take a long time to complete, if you ever do. And they are very litigious. Because everybody calls it, I love booting up the Scrolls. Oh, do you mean Elder Scrolls? Or do you mean the Scrolls card game? Nobody ever said that.
Right.
No one's ever said that.
Right.
So, I don't know. They're taking on HBO.
Wow.
HBO's got some money.
Yeah, that's
They've
true.
got a parent network or net parent company.
That's true.
So, we'll see what happens. But
Wow.
I kind of hope that Bethesda gets spanked on this one. Because, I'm sorry, you don't own
People
games.
living underground.
Yeah,
and-
Theme Park Simulator should sue you.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what this is.
Right. Oh my goodness. I just can't believe it.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't played
It's pretty
it.
great.
Yeah.
I'll post my pictures of Ed Harris kissing a dude.
Okay.
It's like a marimba or a xylophone or something like that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how the music goes.
Sounds good.
It's the only Michael Giacchino score that I like.
Yeah.
When he goes like 60s, fine.
Yeah.
When he's doing anything else, it's like, yeah, that's pretty much, that sounds like a score. The Incredibles. He scores The Incredibles. He
Yes.
scored the original one back in 2004 when it came out. Here we are, 14 years later.
Yes.
A movie, a sequel, so desired and so necessary, they had to run a commercial of apology at the beginning of the film.
I know.
Wasn't that weird?
It was very weird.
What was the point of that?
I think they felt bad that it took them so long to create this movie.
But for anybody who doesn't know, at the beginning there's a little feature. Oh, there's also actually, I'll just here it is. There's a little featurette at the very beginning of Incredibles before the movie starts, where Samuel Jackson and Brad Bird and Craig Nelson and Holly Hunter all come on and talk about how much fun it was to make, and they also all of them like say
Apologize.
we're sorry that it took so long for it to come out.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you got my $12. I'm here.
Right. I know.
You're so pull a lever and have money rain from the ceiling if you're that sorry.
I know.
Or just let me watch the movie.
Yeah. I know.
Anyway,
It was strange. I've never seen that happen. Anybody do that before.
I think that speaks to how much people wanted this film.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about some of the struggles in bringing it to the screen in a little bit. But it is The Incredibles 2.
That's right.
Brad Bird, of course, directing as he directed the first one, and features the return of the Parr family.
Yep.
Which is, I don't know, probably some kind of joke or reference.
I don't know.
Because they're supposed
Par
to be,
for the course.
yeah, they're supposed to be average. They're not supposed to be incredible.
But they are incredible.
That's the point of the first film.
Okay.
First film, weird morals. Weird
Yeah.
moral.
Uh-huh.
And we'll talk about that.
A little bit.
What happens in The Incredibles 2?
There's this one guy, this businessman, who wants to bring superheroes back. His name is, I think is it Devros? I can't remember his name.
Devros? No, that sounds like a Doctor Who villain. No, his name is also like a weird pun that doesn't quite work. He's played by Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
And his name is Winston Dever.
Dever, that's his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like I spent literally half the movie trying to figure this out, and I probably missed some stuff in the film. But it's like Endeavor, right? So
Right.
and win, like he's wins.
Like he's winning?
But like he's going to win an endeavor, win.
Right.
So is this really obvious and I'm not seeing it? You're no help.
I'm
Doesn't
sorry.
matter.
I think it is Winston Endeavor.
But endeavor is, you can see endeavor is a word.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So the rest of those phonetic sounds, are they something?
I don't know.
Okay. Then it's just one of those like Darth Vader, like he's going to invade, but he's Vader.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
What else happens in the film?
He wants to get superheroes back together, so he gets Frozone, Elastigirl, and Mr. Incredible together. And they want to bring Elastigirl back. And that's going to be their big play to bring superheroes back because Elastigirl...
Public perception.
Yes.
He is the true hero, superhero of the 21st century, a good spin guy.
Yes, exactly.
Which they could have gone farther with in terms of their commentary and political commentary.
They could have.
And they did not.
No.
And I think that was probably good.
But Elastigirl has, just like for statistics and everything, she's had fewer casualties.
Yeah, a big part of it is the fact that superheroes break stuff.
Yes.
It was in the first movie. That's why they
exactly
basically fired superheroes in the first place.
Yep. So Helen gets this chance to be able to bring superheroes back, basically. And so she takes it.
She kind of does what Bob does in the first film.
Yes. And she kind of feels weird about it at first because she's like, I have to break the law in order to
uphold it.
Now,
tell me that doesn't sound like a CBS franchise.
I know, right? And she has to leave her family in order to save her family. So she's a little, I would say, what's the word?
Thick?
Well,
we'll get to that too.
Yeah, she is, but she's a little conflicted.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yes. Smart mom, dumb dad.
Yeah.
Seen it.
Yeah, and Bob has to take care of the family, which he's not crazy about.
Super Mr. Mom.
But yeah, exactly.
You fed a baby chili?
Yeah, right.
He turned into a monster.
Right.
Right. Can you go any farther without spoiling?
Let's see.
You don't have to try.
What else?
Is that a good stopping point? I think that's a good stopping point.
Maybe that's a good stopping point.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of the film?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That is a really generic answer to that question.
Okay.
Can you provide a more nuanced take? An individual take?
I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed watching Helen save the day.
Did you feel the girl power?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I did not feel it in the first one.
I did not feel it in the first one, too. But in the first one, it was like she had to go save Bob. And it was like she was kind of being put upon and stuff like that. Whereas in this one, she's choosing to be the hero. And she's saving the day. Like, she literally saves this runaway train. Which was a pretty cool sequence.
There's a thing, this is going to get way far afield, and I'll tell you how I felt about it in a second, but I was thinking about this. Was I thinking about it while I was watching the film? I'm not sure how good the film is if I have time to have these complicated feelings about things. We were kind of talking about this earlier in the show, which is now they've got the industry, the system has got a hold of this desire to have more female characters,
right,
and more representation. But they deal with it in the only way they know how. They see it as a need to fulfill to get more money.
Right.
So it's like, we like Kung Fu and computers after The Matrix. So now everything has, can you put Kung Fu in it?
Right.
It's a dog movie about snow dogs. Actually, Shrek. Shrek is like, there's a Matrix bullet time sequence where Fiona kicks some guys because Matrix.
Right.
And they've taken up the cause of female empowerment in this third, fourth, fifth, whatever wave of feminism we're on now, as in a really cynical way, I think. And I don't lay this at the feet of The Incredibles. I think that Brad Bird has always crafted a movie and story where the characters all are strong and all fill their roles and can fill other roles, and it's fine. But like I was talking about earlier, like, I feel like that's forefront in people's minds. They're like, let's sell them this thing.
Right. And
to me, it feels like the same kind of cynical retread of what we got in like the late 70s and early 80s, where you'd have maybe a prominent female character, but she'd be like coming in with a flaming bra, you know what I mean? Or she's like,
right.
Looks like I'm going to have to take care of this from you men. And they're like, geez, women, right? And it's like, hey, we're woke, everybody.
Right.
We don't have that term yet, but we're so woke.
Yeah.
Whereas in the meantime, you can have a movie like 1991. I'm the movie guy. I can't remember. Silence of the Lambs, where Claire Starling is just a woman, and she just does her job, and nobody makes a big deal out of the fact that she's a woman.
Right.
And she just gets it done. Or a character like Scully, who is basically just
a woman.
Alien. Yeah, basically, yeah. She's, Gillian Anderson passes, I guess, as a woman. No, I mean, like, she's just basically Claire Starling.
Yeah.
But with aliens instead of Buffalo Bill. And then sometimes Buffalo Bill, but he is an alien.
Right.
It puts the lotion on the basket again.
Yes.
Gets the hose. Gets the probe.
Oh my gosh.
So I like seeing this stuff, but I just worry that, well, I guess I don't know what I'm worried about because I don't want it to go away, but I don't like how it's being done sometimes.
Okay.
That was just random commentary because it doesn't really happen in this film, except I think the other side of that coin is that you can't let the female character screw up at all.
Right.
Because then it implies that she can't do it. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. Like, the male hero can screw up.
Yeah,
you need to let female heroes screw up.
I agree.
And my criticism of this film, which, by the way, I liked a lot, and I might like more than the first one.
Wow.
Is that she doesn't have an arc. She's amazing when she begins. She's amazing when it ends.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there isn't any point, without spoiling anything, there is a point where she ends up kind of needing some help, which she gets. It's not like she was too weak or she made some kind of mistake.
No.
And you were bringing up the fact that, he's a PR guy and he selects her as like the face of their thing, which without being explicit, I think is a commentary on what I was describing before. She's a strong female character. It's perfect.
Right.
Let's get her in here.
Right.
But they never, and it is a kid's movie, but they never play on that. They never comment on that in any real way. There are some times where she is taking an interview or people are excited to see Elastigirl again.
Right.
And they get to see her revel in that. But there is no point where that aspect of it turns, where she has to do something or she becomes overwhelmed or confounded by the coverage that she's getting. And she has to go from being somebody who wasn't in the spotlight to somebody who now is, and how she adapts like her techniques or the way that she deals with people. She's perfect at it.
Yeah, doesn't have any problems with it.
Yeah. And it's great to see her capability, but, good characters have vulnerability.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't really show her vulnerability that much.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm not saying we have to make her weak. I just, I want to believe that why does she need everybody else?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? If she's Superman,
right? Why
does Superman need the Justice League? I still don't know the answer to that. He almost kills them all in the movie Justice League.
Yeah.
So anyway, that being said, like I said, love it. I think it might be better than the first. It's definitely better looking than the first. This is a gorgeous film.
Yeah, it is.
And we're not at the point anymore where it's like, oh wow, the computer animation looks almost as good as like regular animation. We're beyond that. Like they are specifically setting up scenes solely to impress you with the lighting and the staging of what they're doing. You know, there are scenes just in the first sequence where they're fighting the Underminer.
Yep.
John Ratzenberger still cashing those Pixar checks.
Yep.
He's got to be doing pretty well at this point.
No, right?
Yeah. Anyway, you know, it all started back in. No, I had to do it in a Cliff Clavin voice, or it doesn't work. But you know, they're in his drill or whatever, and there's fire and there's smoke and stuff like that, and there's some of the lighting and like the coloration, the tableau of the scene they're setting up is incredible. Mm-hmm. To coin a phrase,
Right?
And it's already been pointed out on the internet. If you look, you know, in the first movie, Bob's like, "Oh, it's got a shirt on." But there's a scene from the movie where they zoom in on the scene and he's wearing like a cashmere sweater and you can see the individual hairs in the weave of the cashmere sweater.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's like, all right, go home.
All
You're
right,
drunk,
guys.
Pixar. Yeah.
One thing I think, so I think Elastigirl on the bike was really cool.
That
with the
sequence is amazing.
train and
Like I was
everything.
on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not. Let's not get too into it, but there's a sequence where Elastigirl goes and saves everybody on this train, and to me, it was like the one good scene in Iron Man 3 where Tony has to save all the people that are falling from the plane,
Right.
and it's like, how is this character going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And we see like, oh, this is why I want somebody whose name I don't know driving around on a rooftop. Seems kind of dangerous, but the
Yes.
fact is they have the intelligence and the resources and the powers to like take care of this stuff. This is
know.
why we need a person like this.
This is a really minor thing. I was a little surprised they didn't give her a helmet.
Yeah.
So
Or a line where it's like, let's see if I can do the Holly Hunter thing. I'm made of rubber. I don't need a helmet.
Right, or
Something like that.
something.
Yeah.
just because it's for kids and everything. So I don't
Yeah.
want, you don't want kids to get the wrong idea about things.
But it's already a costume, like a cool.
I know.
The whole point is she gets like this new costume, so like a stylized kind of helmet, and like safety first.
Right?
I don't know why
Right.
that's my Holly Hunter. The attention to detail in all of Pixar's movies, but certainly in this, is amazing. It's
Yeah.
almost distracting. It's almost like, again, go home. Because I would start watching side characters because I knew that Pixar took the time to go in and give them reactions and things like that.
Right.
Like there's this scene where the mayor is, back to the train scene, he's cutting the ribbon to open up the train. Mm-hmm. And as the mayor, he's just like, yeah, he's waving, and then he kind of goes to go inside the train, and he hands these giant pair of scissors to his like
Assistant or whatever.
Right, and she has to grab them, but she's also holding the mic that he just gave her because he's
Yeah.
giving the speech. So she's like, and she's like smiling at the same time, and she's trying to hold all this stuff.
Yep.
There's just a million moments like that
Yeah.
that are just really incredible. Again, the fact that Holly Hunter, kind of talks the way she does. They did this in the first film too. They animate her mouth in a way that you could kind of believe
That's how she
that's
talks.
how she talks.
Yeah.
It isn't just like Johnny Quest or
Right.
whatever. Yeah. Which, by the way, Johnny Quest is in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, they're watching on TV and Johnny
that's
Quest is on
right.
that one. Yeah,
That's right.
that was kind of funny.
That was funny.
They're just showing off. There's a subplot where the new thing is, and again, this is one of the things where the movie falls down a little bit for me, is that they keep pushing to this point where they can make comments and they don't. Bob Odenkirk wants to help them by saying, let's wear cameras. So
Yeah.
while you're out patrolling, we have
Right.
cameras, which are a record of everything that happens.
Right.
What a great idea, Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Care to come to the real universe?
I know, right?
But that never really goes anywhere. Like that footage is never really used in any way. I didn't think that really affects the plot. But you get...
Except
Well, don't say anything because...
I won't say anything.
So we get a scene where, they're like looking at what the characters can see. So we're watching a Pixar movie with a guy watching 3 Pixar movies on 3 different screens.
Right.
It's like, all right, come on.
Right.
Take that lampshade off. There's a scene where, and there's another scene where Helen is like walking around this a room, and she walks by this sculpture or something that's got, it's shaped like an eye, but it's it's decorated with like 12 or 13 like lenses.
Yep.
It's the kind of thing you'd see like hanging from a porch that catches the light or whatever.
Right.
And she walks by it, and then we see like 13 Elastigirls go the other way in the 13 lenses. All right, come on, man. Give me the keys. Give me the keys, Pixar. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, visually, there is one thing that is kind of an interesting choice, and we can talk about it because it's spoiled in A4 paper that you see walking into the theater, which is there's an epilepsy warning in this film.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a thing that they do. There's this effect that happens that is very flashy, and I would imagine would be on a scale of 1 to Power Ranger cartoon.
Yeah.
Could be a problem for people who are photosensitive.
Absolutely.
So watch out. And it's just weird. It suddenly makes you realize they don't do this thing anymore in cartoons.
They don't.
For a long time. So I just wonder why they made that choice. Like, it's a neat effect, and we already talked about like the persistence and the richness and warmness of the color. It works really great as this weird, stark contrast to the rest of the frames, but you could have made it anything. Like, why'd you do that?
They could have. I don't know why they did. I mean, it just maybe because it was so starkly different. But you're right. I mean, they could have done with another choice that wasn't epileptic inducing. And
well,
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, if that's something that you're worried about, just, be wary of that. They really should do like a Blu-ray version that you can turn that off. You know what I mean? It has that and doesn't have that. So hopefully they'll think about doing something like that. I'm trying to think of other comments about the production of the film. I think Brad Bird said a couple of years ago when it was announced that they would be working on this, that it was 2005, so it was pre-Iron Man. His excuse basically is there's so many superhero films, we want to make sure we did something that stood out from them.
Sure.
And my thing is, yeah.
Well, it's animated, so it stands out already.
Yeah, and you're the only recorded person to have nailed a Fantastic Four movie.
Right.
We'll just keep doing that, I guess.
Right.
So
exactly.
So I don't really necessarily understand that kind of stuff. I think it's that he wanted to go into live action, which he did.
Okay.
And Tomorrowland
did not do too
tanked,
well.
So he's back.
Yep.
Everybody's back.
Right.
Yay! We'll never talk about it again. Most of the cast is back. I think they replaced the kid that plays Dash, just because I think the kid is a man now.
Probably.
Yeah. And actually the guy that plays Dicker retired.
Oh, really?
And then he recently died. He was pretty old.
Oh, wow.
About as old as the character. And so they got Jonathan Banks to play that role.
Okay.
So I kept expecting, I think I heard in my head, like, no half measures, Bob. And other than that, Isabella Rossellini and Sophia Bush are in it as characters that we won't reveal until we talk about spoilers, as is Catherine Keener is in it as well.
Yep.
Any final thoughts before we give our review, or our rating, I guess, and then we talk about spoilers?
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Again, I've been complaining about this for almost a decade now, but it's almost disappointing how good they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was Pixar's, I'm sure they worry about this constantly, but how do we go to the next level?
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
We're in the clouds. We're so high above everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go to the next level?
Right.
Will people get bored with how good our movies are? And yeah, I am kind of bored with how good they are. But this is just another feather in the cap. It's amazing. Brad Bird returns as Edna Mode. Of course, his standout role from the first one. Everybody's back. Samuel L. Jackson's getting it done.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize Brad Bird was Edna Mode.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
How many Super Babies out of 5 would you give it?
I think I'd give it 5 out of 5 Super Babies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Jack was
What would you
pretty
give the first
entertaining.
one?
I would give it that also 5 out of 5.
Okay, same.
Yeah.
All right. I would give it 8 Super Babies
Oh, wow.
out of 5.
Wow.
Because Jack is
Out of this
He's got
world.
some powers now.
Yeah.
He's got some powers.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 babies
That's true.
fighting a raccoon.
Yes. Also true.
I don't know if that's a spoiler.
I don't know if it is.
Let's
either.
talk spoilers and
Okay.
just immediately talk about that.
Okay.
Brad Bird sits down in front of somebody in a Mickey Mouse costume.
Yeah.
Listen to me and let me finish. I want to have a baby get into a fist fight with a raccoon in this film.
I know. I know. It's so crazy. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, it's great because it just catalogs his powers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could do a thing with just a sequence where Bob is trying to change his diaper or something.
Right.
And he does 12 different things. And he's
Right.
like, whoa, this is what we're dealing with.
Right.
But instead, they just go, I don't know, he could just wrestle a raccoon, I guess.
I know.
What?
And
It's
he's
so-
fighting the raccoon because the raccoon looks like a burglar because of the little things around
Which,
his eyes.
yeah, I forgot to mention that before. This movie not only has Johnny Quest in it, which is the only time that they break their computer animation thing. So again, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I'm not sure why they made that specific reference. But yeah, in the film, Jack is watching an old movie.
Yeah.
And instead of, they could have just played a Cary Grant movie or something like that.
Sure.
But they render a Pixar version of a black and white crime movie, which I kind of want to see now.
Yeah, I know,
I'd love to see like Angels with Dirty Faces, but the Pixar version.
Right.
But yeah, the guy in it has a burglar mask.
Yeah.
And then he sees the raccoon.
And he makes the connection that,
It's Sly Cooper.
Yeah,
Get
I
him!
know, right?
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. This is really good.
And Jack is so expressive, even though he's not talking yet. You know?
Yeah. I guess the theory, I'm not sure I really buy this, but the theory behind Jack and like what his powers and stuff is that Brad Bird said that like, you know, babies have this ability of language acquisition, which is nobody really understands or knows how this squalling thing, you know, that comes out of the womb
Yeah.
within 18 months is saying words and indicating things.
Right.
Like we're just built to do it.
Right.
Sure, you can get into grammar and you know, learning other languages and all this stuff later, but we just seem to pick it up. And so there's that going on, but also like maybe his powers will settle down into something someday. But right now he's just got like all this
A bunch of
potential
different
and stuff.
powers, yeah.
So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I noticed that one complaint, if I had to complain, is that they're still kind of derivative. It's hard to do stuff in a superhero film when there are so many superhero films.
Yeah.
It's impossible, nearly impossible, to not rip something off. Mm-hmm. And in the first film, like, and I'm surprised that we make it to like halfway through the film and they still don't know he's got powers.
I know.
After the babysitter freaked out, who missed opportunity to bring the babysitter character back.
True.
What happened with that?
I don't know.
But she's not in it. But the babysitter freaks out. He basically kills Syndrome.
Yeah.
The cape
basically.
killed Syndrome. The
Yeah,
cape
that's
killed
true.
it. No return to the cape joke?
No.
I think Pixar's just like, look, what are we going to do? Go back to the old stuff?
Right.
We got new stuff here.
Right.
So that's what they do. But in the first film, like, he turns into, like, fire, Human Torch. It's
Yep.
one element of the Fantastic Four we didn't rip off. He turns into metal. It's Colossus. He turns into, like, a monster. That's kind of Hellboy looking. And it's
Yep.
like, all right, guys, you already ripped off the Fantastic Four.
Right.
In this film, there's there's a bird guy. That's fine, I guess.
Yep.
There's a guy who specifically crushes things.
Yes.
I assume he's telekinetic, but he can only crush stuff.
Right.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
You've got a girl that makes portals.
Yep.
The portals are just fun.
Yep.
So they did a little better not blatantly ripping things off.
Right.
And they even dropped the turns into a metal guy from Jack's power set. Like, he doesn't do that
They did.
anymore. That being said, except for the portal girl, there wasn't like a lot of like exciting, crazy, wacky powers.
Mm-mm.
And their costumes were terrible. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so.
Like, the Incredibles costumes are great. They're just very clean and sort of classic.
Yeah.
But even their old costumes are pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, Void is like, she's got a neoprene wetsuit on.
Yep.
She looks like she's wearing a body glove from an 80s, body glove commercial or something.
Yeah.
And the bird guy wasn't all that great. There's a character named Brick that has brick patterns on her suit. And
Yep.
so they just looked weird. And then there was the bunch of random heroes that weren't part of the brainwashed group
Right.
at the summit or whatever.
That's true.
That never help out in the battle.
That's true.
At all. And their old costumes are all kind of weird looking. I think this is a thing where the 60s aesthetic is like bumping up against what they can do with
Okay.
practical costumes.
Okay.
Because none of them have like a million pouches or anything like that. They're trying to keep these like classic, Silver Age kind of lines.
I guess so.
And they have to show, like, the one guy who's like the abominable snowman from Russia or whatever, like his tunic is like a knit sweater type thing.
Right.
Which was like, okay, good touch, but I don't know. I thought the designs could have been better.
Okay. I guess so. I don't know. I thought Void's costume was kind of... I guess it wasn't anything special.
Colorful.
It's colorful, yeah.
Yeah.
Matched her hair.
What'd you think about Void the character?
I thought she was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In not being cool. Because for me, she fits into this mode of of the whole strong woman character. We see you, Tumblr crowd. Let's put you in the movie.
Well, yeah.
So she's like, you're my
obsessed
favorite.
with
Yeah, I have a
Elastigirl.
blog about you. It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
It was a little much.
Can't you just be inspired by her and
Right.
not point out that she's a fan? Movie executives think that you want to see you in the film.
Right.
And it's the same thing for me of kids don't want to see Anakin. Kids,
Right.
want to be an adult.
They want to be Luke Skywalker. Or
but-
Han Solo.
Yeah, but I think it works on Tumblr people because Tumblr people see a Tumblr character and I think they get excited about them. It happened with Oswald in Doctor Who.
That's true.
They like Tilly. And I
Yeah.
don't hate Oswald or Tilly. I just see what's behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
I'm a child of the 90s. I like conflicted, complicated characters.
Right.
Not characters who are like, oh, wow, you're so complicated and conflicted. You're my favorite.
I'm an empty shell.
Well, they're not empty shells, but they don't even really pay off. I guess she does help save the day.
Void does help save the day.
Yeah, inspired by her mentor. Or
Elastigirl.
whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, all I'm saying is, the first movie, that was the villain.
Right.
That character was the bad guy.
Right.
But in
exactly.
this film, it's fine.
Good point.
Let's talk about those weird sort of morals or lessons in the first film.
Okay.
What'd you think about the first film and that? The reason I think I might like this better than the first is I don't think it's quite as bombastic, but it's just cleaner.
Okay.
The first film is like, you got a shitty job?
Yep.
Throw your boss through a wall.
Right.
Working is for stiffs.
Right.
Great message.
Not a great message.
Perhaps your disillusionment can drive you, a hero, to threaten to snap a woman's neck. Do you know what I mean? There's like a lot of...
Yeah.
If you tell your fans to screw themselves, and when they, not rightfully, but when they understandably are mad at you and come back,
Yep.
Just throw them through a jet engine.
Yeah.
Also, especially if they want to create a bunch of inventions that will benefit the world.
Yeah.
Because remember, Buddy wants to create jetpacks and lasers and to give out to other people.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But jet engine for you, pal.
Right. It's messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this one is as conflicted. We do have...
I think the villain's weak in this one.
Well, the villain is weak in this one,
In
for
a lot
sure.
of ways.
Yeah.
And I almost think that they maybe wanted to have the cake and blog about it too.
Okay.
Because you get a film that handily... Well, it almost doesn't. It's weird, though. It's right on this weird line. I was going to say it handily passes the Bechdel test, but almost all of the conversations, there are definite... They made a mandate. We're going to have Helen and this character whose name I can't remember, who's Bob Odenkirk's character's sister.
Yep.
Something...
Evelyn Devereaux.
Something Dever, yeah. Evil Endeavor. I just got it. That's it.
Oh, you're right.
That's it. I told you. I told you there was a thing.
You did.
Can Gooden be somebody's first name?
I don't know.
Is that too on the nose?
It's too on the nose.
Because I guess if I had ever known what her name was or paid attention, you would have figured out that she was the bad guy at the beginning.
I guess so.
Evil Endeavor.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it works.
I guess it
The
was.
whole point
too.
is that she feels overlooked.
Yep.
And I overlooked her.
Yep.
But they clearly said, let's have Helen be the female hero of this.
Mm-hmm.
She will bond with a female inventor and scientist
Yep.
who becomes the female villain.
Yep.
And you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. The Tumblr side of it can be like, check this out. They've got a female hero, female villain going against each other. And the MRAs can be like, see, the girl was bad all the time.
Right.
She feels unappreciated. She's dangerous. Look out. She's dangerous.
Right.
And I don't think any of their conversations actually passed the Bechdel test because she's always talking about her brother.
That's true.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I've choked you with my knowledge.
Yeah, she's always talking about her brother.
I like Catherine Keener. I don't think she's a voice actress.
No?
I thought that she was the weakest. Not the
Okay.
performance necessarily, but like there's a quality that voice actors have to sort of bring that to life. And
Sure.
Catherine Keener's a great actress. I just thought that she was kind of flat as a voice actress.
Okay. Then there's like a female ambassador, so it's kind of like...
That's the Isabella Rossellini character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Hillary's gonna sign something, you know? So,
How far ahead are these things planned,
years.
you think?
Yeah.
Because maybe otherwise it would be like, you're the best superhero,
Oh,
you're the
gosh.
greatest superhero. There's a lot of superheroes.
I really hope not. Because that would just be disheartening.
I mean, it is a kid's movie.
It is.
There's always a third. People think that there won't be a third. What do you think?
I hope there is a third.
How could there not be one?
I know.
And in fact, I feel like this is much more than the first film setting up a third.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first film literally ends with the promise of more conflict,
Right.
which I know Brad Bird specifically said he didn't want to jump forward and like see, the kids as adults and tell it from
Right.
there, which I don't know. Go for it. Why not?
Right.
But they picked it up right where it left off at the first one,
Yep.
which makes sense. But to me, it didn't feel like they ever really planned to go ahead with that. At that point, Pixar didn't do sequels
Right.
or had done very few sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just seemed like open-ended, like, huh, right? There's a, well, here we go again.
Right.
And this doesn't end like that, except for the fact that, the Underminer does get away.
I know.
But
And
to
they
me-
are fighting somebody towards the end of the movie,
Yeah.
too.
But it felt to me more like, okay, now we're doing the Marvel thing where that was pretty good. We didn't spend it all. We left a little in the tank, so there will be some for the next one.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe Bird will just oversee it, but not direct it. But they've got to do another one of these, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
And like, they didn't really give Violet and Dash a whole lot to do, I feel like. in this film.
Violet just kind of repeated her arc from the first film,
Yeah.
which was like weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dash was, maybe it was because it was a new voice actor or something, but he didn't really have anything.
No.
He liked the car.
Yeah.
The
exactly.
Incredibile.
Yes.
A kid that can run as fast as a car loves a car.
Yep.
Mm.
He likes things with remotes because he was using the remote at
Yeah.
the house too.
Yeah.
And like getting into trouble with that.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very funny, very entertaining film.
Yeah.
Lots of very cool moments. Frozone was getting it done in this one.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot. They call him over to emergency babysit,
Yeah.
and and then he comes over when the other people are there, like hypnotized and everything.
Yeah.
And
Do you think that they come up with the names of things first and then reverse engineer a hero out of that?
maybe.
Because like Screenslaver,
I know.
Screenslaver. He controls people with phones. Everybody's on their phones.
And the screens.
All
Yeah,
right, make it.
exactly.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, anyway, if you want a movie with strong female characters,
That's right.
one of whom is a cretinous villain, tries to murder everybody,
Yep.
and Helen didn't know she would be able to catch her.
No.
Helen kind of tries to murder her. There's a lot less murder in this one than there was in the first one.
Yeah.
There are some points where you're like, well, that person's dead.
Yeah.
Like Dash killed a guy indirectly, but
yeah.
but everybody makes it out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, a lot of parachutes out of exploding jets in this one.
Yes.
In the G.I. Joe fashion. But yeah, I would absolutely say you got to go see it. And I'll be, I'll dash to the line to get a ticket for number 3.
Yes.
If they do it. Where do they go for 3?
Well, maybe Violet or Dash get a job or something like that.
Focus on the kids?
Yeah.
Because they've done a Bob movie.
They've done a Helen movie.
So it's a kids movie.
That's what I think.
Violet's trying to work at McDonald's or something.
Something like that.
Maybe they could break the internet.
Oh my gosh. Let's hope they don't.
Yeah, don't do that. Incredibles 3.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back.
Well, that's it. Another one in the books. Gosh, good movie.
It was a good movie.
Gotta shut up about it. Definitely go see it. And that's a keeper. That's a Blu-rayer.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes out, you could probably pre-order it now.
Probably.
Pre-order that Blu-ray. You can do it on Amazon. You can get there by clicking through the link on our page at justenoughtrope.com. You know how the drill works.
Mm-hmm.
You click through this link. Actually, if you go and you click on it, you bookmark it. That knows, or Amazon will know, that you came through us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you make your purchases on Amazon, you're getting whatever you get. A little bit of that purchase comes back to us at no extra cost to you. And it's a great way to help support the show.
Yep.
Keep our lights on here. If you want to support the show more directly, you can by going to our Patreon page at patreon.com/justenough-trope, all one word. And check out what we got going on there. We'd really appreciate it. And in the meantime, you can always find us on Facebook and Twitter and other social media sites. This is kind of a note for enterprising individuals, but we will be attending Trek Fest 34 something.
Okay.
It's more than 3. It's 34, which is, of course, the celebration in Riverside, Iowa, which is the future birthplace of Captain James T. Kirk.
Right.
And so we'll have pictures and tweets from there. I also want to check out our Instagram at instagram.com/justenough-trope and /EISTpod for updates from that. Pictures of the parade, the pie eating contest. I'm just guessing there'll be. No, I know there's a pancake breakfast, a demolition derby, fireworks. They go all out.
Yes.
How do you make a demolition derby Star Trek themed? Shuttlecraft?
Yeah, shuttlecraft. Maybe your demolition derby looks like the Enterprise. I don't know.
Right. An old El Camino comes in,
right?
Painted green. It's the bird of prey,
right?
Right. Something like that. So watch out for that. You can also, of course, find us if you don't get our show from iTunes. You can, and I would recommend you go to iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, wherever you get our show from. Go there and give us an old review. We'd appreciate it. We love hearing from you guys and knowing what you want to hear us talk about on the show next. Also, subscribe while you're there because, let's face it, you're a busy guy or gal. You're on the go. You want to get that show as soon as it's ready, and it just downloads, and it's there for you to listen as soon as it's ready. That's how you do it, by subscribing. And give us a rating. It's probably the most important part of this process, because by giving us a rating, we move up in the ranks, especially if it's a high rating. Mm-hmm. I suppose we'd go down in the ranks if it's a bad rating.
I suppose.
But if it goes that high rating, we move up, and that platform knows we're doing a good job, and we can get exposed to more people, reach more people, and have more fun. So give us 5 incredible family member superheroes. They're a family. They work together. Baby's got a mask on.
That's right.
That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Do babies have identifying features?
I don't know.
That's him. That's him, officer. That was the baby that shot lasers out of his eyes at me. I think you have to disguise a baby. So the baby's got kind of reddish hair.
Yes.
Like blondish red.
Yes.
So here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Whose kid is Violet? Is she a Daria fan? Is this part of her? This would have made sense in 2004. I don't think it makes any sense now. She dyes it black.
Maybe.
Is that what's going on?
Maybe she dyes it black.
This is her, like,
I don't know.
thing, her rebellion.
A recessive gene or something?
black is not a recessive gene. Blonde is a recessive gene.
Okay.
And there are more than one gene that contributes to hair color, if I remember my genetics correctly.
Yes.
Or does Helen dye her hair? But then why is the baby's hair red?
Yeah, I don't think Helen dyes her
It's
hair.
violet.
I think it has to be violet.
Yeah. Because Dash has dad's hair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is confusing.
I know.
If you want to stay out of this whole thing, I say you give us 5 stars instead. Join us next week where we'll talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be our last show before Convergence, and we will let you know what we're going to talk about. I keep saying that. I'm not sure I've done it just yet. But anyway, definitely follow us on social
We'll keep you
media.
posted.
And we'll let you know. And we'll tell you who else we're talking to at Convergence. And, of course, we'll have live coverage from Convergence. We're doing shows from the floor there and sort of wrap-up shows. And interviews will all appear on our episodes post-Convergence. So big time of the year.
Yep.
Here we go again.
Busy.
It's CVG 2018. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.
I didn't understand
Don't you come back no more.
you. You can't mean that.
Don't you come back.
Oh, now, baby, please.
Don't you come back no more.
What you trying to do to me?